Well, hello, you fabulous interior design professional. Welcome to Business of Design, episode 392. We're closing in on episode 400. I can't believe it. I'm going to ask you two questions. Number one, do you care about your time? It's rhetorical, right? We all care about our time. Number two, do you love Business of Design? Please say yes. If you care about your time and you love Business of Design, I have a proposition for you that I hope is going to be really enticing and you're going to act on it. And the proposition is this: get yourself to High Point in October. Now, I'm not asking you to buy anything for Business of Design, nothing, not selling a thing. In fact, I'm inviting you to our birthday party, and that's going to be a great celebration, and you can just show up, and we cannot wait to give you really good information that's going to help you run your business. And this episode is a little bit of a little taste, I guess, of what happens at High Point. You're going to meet in this episode Tammy Covington Nagem. She is president and CEO of High Point Market Authority, and it's her job to oversee the strategic business development, marketing, and operations for what is the world's largest home furnishings trade show. She has a 13-person team, which is absolutely absurd. Only 13 people, really. And they put on this huge show, and you're going to hear how big it is. But this episode specifically, Tammy and I are going to talk about your return on your investment if you decide to make the trip to High Point. And you're going to get so much out of it. And on top of that, you're going to show up for Business of Design when we really, really want you to show up for us. We feel sometimes like we're the industry's best kept secret, and we just want to see if we have a few fans out there. So please, please show up at High Point. And let me tell you some of the things that are going to be happening at High Point when you arrive. So the show officially opens on Saturday, October 26th. Whether you've been or not, I have your morning planned for you. At 10 a.m., we are going to be at Four Hands, which is a showroom you have to see. And we're going to be talking specifically about why I believe you should completely ignore the budget and specify better products for your clients, and how you can do that, how you can make money doing that, how you can gain confidence doing that, how you can make your clients more happy by doing that. Honestly, ignore all the rules that people tell you about budgeting because they're not good. This is how you do it, and this is how you make money doing it. And I know that because it works for me and it works for thousands of others, and I want you there to be part of that. So 10 a.m. at Four Hands, we are hosting these events in partnership with Danielle House Club. They're all free. And you're going to hear Tammy say this in the episode: look great from the ankles up. In other words, put some comfy shoes on and really be ready to work and build your business during this exciting morning of activities. So first seminar, 10 a.m. Four Hands. Second seminar, 11 a.m. just downstairs, Sunpan. We're going to talk there about how you grow profitability by leaning into your vendors. What can you do to make more money with specific vendors? How does that work? And then at 12 p.m., we're going to be going to Et2 Home. If you've never seen their product, it's absolutely beautiful. And I understand they now have cabinetry, which I am excited about. And this topic is going to be design fees are not enough. Why, as the boss, you need to set terms that are favorable for your business and build a profitable business model. Why am I so hepped up about you having a profitable business model? Because everything, and I mean everything, comes from that. Without that, you can't build independent wealth, which is really the goal when you set out in your career, believe it or not. I didn't know that for a long, long time. Then at 3 p.m., epic birthday party. And that's going to be in the Market Suites. And we're going to have bar service. We're going to have a DJ. We're going to have guest speakers. And we're going to be talking about our 2020 hindsight. In 20 years, these are the things that I've learned that can make you an expert. And it won't take you 20 years to get there. It took me 20 years to get there, but it won't take you 20 years to get there because we're going to tell you how to do it specifically. And as you know, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, I'm no fan of theory. So this is going to be very actionable advice that you can immediately take on yourself. Hopefully, between this heartfelt approach and our guest on this podcast, you're going to be thinking about October 26th, finding yourself in High Point. In fact, I would show up on the 25th. I always go a day ahead of time, even though it's not quite set up, and I get to see a ton of stuff without the crowds, which is wonderful. And then the 26th is going to be devoted to your Business of Design Day, and there'll be lots of opportunity to see showrooms in between all of that, of course. And you'll end the day on a high note, I promise, with us at the Market Suites. Really, really looking forward to seeing you there. And love your feedback about this episode. I hope you'll consider North Carolina in your travel plans. And by the way, it's a business write-off. Thanks everybody for being here.
Hey guys, it's Cheryl. I'm supposed to be doing announcements right now, but I think Kimberly covered everything you need to know about High Point, which is awesome. So all I will add is go to businessofdesign.com, click on events. All of the details are there, including the showroom locations, so you can map things out before you get there. Please head to the website, again, businessofdesign.com, click on events, check out everything we're doing at High Point. If you've got questions, reach out to me. If you want to let me know that you're coming, reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. Cheryl at businessofdesign.com. Thanks so much.
Tammy, good morning. How are you?
Morning. I'm great, Kimberly. How are you?
I'm well. Now, I'm picturing you in High Point,
Yes,
a place
right
that
at
I've
my
been
window.
to. It's just right out there, yeah,
Yeah.
outside your window. It's a place I've been to so many times, but I have never been there when market isn't happening. So describe for us what life is like in High Point, North Carolina, when market's not on.
Life is fantastic in High Point, North Carolina, both during market and off market times. I think lots of folks who come here for market see our city and sort of have this vision that it's like that year round. It's not completely like that year round. However, do still very much have a vibrant city. We're about 100 and I think we're 15,000 residents, so kind of a medium-sized city for North Carolina. But there's a lot of activity, especially now. We're talking a couple months before market starts, and there's a lot of getting ready that's happening here. But there's also a very vibrant design community here year round that really supports this industry. So it's a great place to be in between markets, and you still feel we're still the home furnishings capital of the world 365 days a year.
Yes,
So
you
it's a great place to
are.
be. Yeah.
Yes, you are. And you're so close to Raleigh, to
Yes.
Charlotte,
Charlotte.
to
Yeah.
Greensboro, like so many hubs nearby.
Yes.
And I said this to Tammy before, we spent a lot of time in North Carolina because I have family in Raleigh and Chapel
Yes.
Hill. In fact, I have a daughter named Raleigh. That's how much I like
Yes.
North Carolina. So there you go.
That's
Really,
awesome.
really nice to have you on the show. And for
Yeah.
those listening who've never been to market, I hope that you're going to come away and think you got to get to market, because I
Absolutely.
was really one of those designers who thought, I don't need to go to market. I have great suppliers and vendors, and
Yes.
I'm content doing my job. And then I don't know what it was that convinced me to go the first time, but it blew my mind, the opportunities available to me and how it could impact my business in such a positive way. So tell
Yes.
everybody what your role is at Market and at High Point.
Absolutely. And Kimberly, you're exactly right. All those things can be true in a designer's world. So you can have fabulous vendors and great relationships and access to product and all those things, but still need to be in High Point. We'd love to see you every April and October. But our organization, the High Point Market Authority, is the official sponsor of Market. This trade show has been in our city for 115 years. It's been here since 1909.
Wow.
So it's only been canceled twice, once for World War II and the second time for COVID.
All right,
So
I wasn't around for World War II, but I
no,
do
me
remember
either. Yeah. But we
I do
remember
remember
COVID.
COVID, and that
We
was like
do, we
really
do. And
sad.
so it is so very sad, but also kind of amazing that it's only
Yeah.
been canceled twice. But it's woven into the fabric of this industry. I feel like and we call it a trade show. We are connecting buyers and sellers. So at the end of the day, that's what we are. But we are also kind of the center of the universe for this kind of work. And so having an organizer, we are a private, not-for-profit organization. We're about a $9 million budget a year, and about two-thirds of that is public funding. And so because of the economic impact and because of the industry in this area, our local and state governments see fit to help us ensure that this industry stays prevalent, stays attending, and that we're able to produce a show that for designers like yourself is a must-see event. And our job really focuses around two sides of the business, which is marketing and sort of strategic planning for the event itself, and the other side being the logistics and the guest service piece of that. So we want to make sure everyone knows about High Point, sets those dates, promotes it, but then also when you come here, you find an experience that we hope you walk away feeling like was productive and was good for your business, and that you can't imagine not coming back.
Yeah, recharge your battery and all those good things. Am I putting you on the spot if I say, like, let's be practical and tell the designers listening, what's the ROI you might expect from going to High Point? Because I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought, well, it's going to be fun. I'm going to see some furniture that I've probably
Sure.
seen other places, but there's an actual real return on investment if you make time to put this into your calendar once or twice a year.
You're absolutely right, Kimberly. And I don't know that I have a number. I would anticipate, depending on your business, that number probably differs. But here's what that looks like. And I think that's a brilliant question. We talk about this market delivering the what we call the three-legged stool. It's all about product. Product is the secret sauce to your business. You are able to access things for your clients that they can't find themselves, and you're able to wrap services around that and make that product offering something that is unique to your business and to your client. You can find that in High Point. We often say, if you can't find it here, it probably doesn't exist. We are all product categories, we are all price points, and we are basically 201 football fields of fabulous furniture. I always think that 11.5 million square feet of show space. I'm like, what is that? But
Yeah,
11
I
and
can
a
tell
half
you what that
million
is.
square feet,
That's a
it's
whole
hurt
pack
feet.
of, yeah, I was going to say that's a whole pack of blister Band-Aids, which I
That's
always
exactly
carry
what
with
that is.
me. So that's your
That's what that
first
is.
tip. Bring your
That's
blister
right. Good
Band-Aids.
shoes. The good shoes. We look good from the ankles up, is what we say.
Yeah.
So it's access to that product. It is education. Um, Trying to make your business better in a way that is meaningful and relevant, and um, we are able to pull together some of the greatest minds in this industry and leverage them twice a year to disseminate that information. So whether you are wanting trends, whether you're wanting business advice, whether you're wanting new software to run your business, you're going to find that information and the education that wraps around that in High Point,
Mhm.
both in showrooms, both with things like keynotes, and we have an area called the Point where we do more peer-to-peer sort of education. But whatever you're looking for, we feel like you can find it here. There's CEU credits. If you happen to be in a state that requires continuing education, you can actually come to High Point and in a lot of cases probably get all of your CEUs
Mhm.
while here for
Yeah,
free.
for
And
free.
so that's important. The third leg, and I might think probably we should have said this first, is I am a firm believer in the networking piece of this.
Mm.
For lack of a better word, finding your tribe. High Point is where designers come to find their people. I hear that all the time. Oh, I never knew about High Point. When I came, I found my people. Whether you're sitting on a bus and talking to someone who happens to sit down beside you and you find out you have so much in common, you're struggling with some of the same things, you're at the same point in business, or it's more purposeful where you maybe are a part of a tour for new market goers, or a certain product category that maybe you've just started exploring. Maybe you've are dipping your toe in hospitality or whole home or all those things. You're going to have access to people in a non-competitive situation in High Point that can really move your business forward. I think there's no substitute for sitting down and having a cup of coffee and having that authentic conversation. And that happens in High Point.
Hey designers, just popping in to remind you of the wonders of Daniel House Club. DHC simplifies your design business, offering everything you need in one place. No more wasting time managing orders. They've got that covered, so you can concentrate on creating beautiful spaces. Plus, they offer some of the best trade pricing on top brands like Four Hands, Curry & Co., and Hudson Valley Lighting with flat rate shipping. To join, visit danielhouse.club and use the promo code BOD2024, all caps, for 50% off your first year of their Pro Plus membership. And for you longtime members of DHC, they want to reward you for your loyalty. Use the code HighPoint2024 at checkout to receive 10% off the value of your next order. DHC is also super excited to celebrate BOD's 20th anniversary with us this fall at High Point Market. They will be sponsoring our seminar series on Saturday, October 26th, in partnership with some of their top vendor showrooms, including Four Hands, where mimosas will be on tap. Join Daniel House Club now and experience how easy managing your design business can be. It happens all the time, and it's so funny you said the bus, because I've met so many great people on the
That's
bus.
awesome.
And
Yes.
if you've never been to High Point, you're going, bus? Let me just tell you,
Right.
this place is huge and they're so organized. You mentioned the logistics part.
Yeah.
Whatever hotel you're staying at, there's probably a shuttle, a free shuttle
Yeah.
that will get you from your
94 of
hotel.
them.
94 of them.
94.
It's like clockwork, man. It's really, really impressive, I will
Yes.
say. So the three-legged stool, I would like to dig into each of those legs a little bit.
Yeah.
So the first
Yeah.
one you said was product. I think
Yeah.
it's really important to not underestimate how much impact you can have in your clients' lives by bringing them product that they can't find at the local big box store. That
Absolutely.
is huge. And
Absolutely.
I sort of knew it, but I just don't think I realized the scope before I'd been to High Point and
Right.
met those different vendors and began to establish those relationships. So there's
Yes.
real money that designers leave on the table when they don't take advantage of these products.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There are 2,000 exhibitors here. So 2,000 product sellers, for lack of a better word. And that gamut is very wide, as you mentioned. I mean, you can find, I would dare to say, every resource that you need, unless you're looking for something on the fringe, maybe.
Right.
Here's the other piece, Kimberly, that I think is so important for a designer, is that not only can you find the product here, you can meet the people who designed it, you can meet those who made it, you can meet the president of the company who's walking the showroom floor and asking you about your business and what they can do better. But what that pulls together for the designer is then you're able to tell that story to your client.
Right.
It's no longer something you bought online. It's no longer something that is sort of, I bought this because it matched your color scheme.
Right.
Bought this because the construction is something that I felt like you were looking for in your business, or the sustainable nature of this product spoke to me as I, talked to you, Mrs. Smith, about what's important in your home. You're able to come away from High Point with with a narrative for your client that I would like to think is hard to find anywhere else. I don't know if you found that to be the case.
Yeah, and I think just having that information is gives you so much confidence when you're talking to your clients. I'm presenting
Yeah.
something and they're saying, I don't know, and I'm saying, no, no, let me tell you, this is
Yeah.
really important that you know this. This is 100% made in the USA. I met the
Right.
owner of the company. So
Yes.
this is a company that we trust. We
Right.
rely on them to do the R&D. So we know how this is
Yeah.
made. You're going to love this for 25 years. It's so comfortable. This is the other thing. A lot of people live in smaller communities and they don't have a retail outlet for every manufacturer. Of course, nobody has a retail
Right.
outlet for every
Right.
manufacturer. And sometimes I have to say to my clients, I know you can't sit on this sofa, but I have. I
Yeah.
have sat on this sofa or five other sofas by this manufacturer, and it's comfortable. It
Right.
feels good. It's made well. It's not going to break down with the kids jumping on it. So
Right.
that kind of matters too, right?
Absolutely. And don't you love that we're in an industry where that means something? I told someone the other day, and it's like, I'm so thankful to be in home furnishings for a lot of reasons. I mean, number one, it's making your lives beautiful, and who doesn't love that? But I'm just not so sure I would want to coordinate the tool show. I'm not so sure I could get as excited about wrenches and screwdrivers,
Mm.
because I'm not sure and maybe someone would disagree, but because you're exactly right. Sitting on it, touching it, feeling it, being
Mhm.
a part of it is really means something in this industry and means something to your client.
Oh my gosh, it really does. You
Yeah.
also mentioned the education component.
Yeah.
Great, really great resources available, and you get the list ahead of time. There's a big market guide. You can find out
Yeah.
where all the speakers are.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm completely biased. You simply must be at every single business of design event because what we talk about is
That's right.
business.
Yes.
And it's great that you know how to make rooms look beautiful, but if you don't know how to run your business, you're not going to
That's
get the
right.
opportunity to make beautiful rooms very
That's
often
right.
or for the clients you want to work with. So the education component is a big deal.
Yes.
And so I think that that's, worth thinking about. Schedule the extra time you need so you can attend some of the classes and then do some of the showroom. I like to break it up. I can only go to so many showrooms before my eyes are like bleeding.
Yes.
And then I
Yes.
need to go, I want to go to the theater and I want to hear someone talk about the software technology or whatever
Right.
it
Right.
is. And so it's kind of fun. It's kind of like back to school. I remember when it would be a new semester at university and we'd be like at the catalog, we're like, I'm going to take this and I'm going to take, oh, now there's two things. Which one am I going to pick? And, sometimes you
Yes.
divide and conquer. I'll send like someone
Yes.
who works
Yes.
for me.
You go
You go
there.
there and
I'll
I'll
go
go
here.
there.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's not a
No, no,
small thing.
you're absolutely right. And I think looking at that market schedule, knowing there are 2,000 exhibitors and 201 football fields, is that making sure you give yourself enough time here to really be able um to immerse yourself in that and not feel so stretched. I mean, I realize
Yeah.
it's hard, and there's if new folks, I would well, anyone, I would recommend downloading our app, because what it allows you to do is do a market planner, so you're able to map out what exhibitors you'd like to see. It groups them by building and by bus stop, so you're
Mhm.
not doing what we call ping pong all over town. You're doing
Yeah.
it the most efficient way. But what it also does, Kimberly, is allows you to add your events into that. So if I know I'm going to go to a session at Surya, then I may also look at what other exhibitors are around me and do that while I'm there. And it just helps you be more efficient in that planning, because you're absolutely right. Segmenting and thinking about this in a very intentional way makes for a better market visit. The other thing I would encourage folks to do is, and this sort of branches between that education and product, is leave some time for discovery.
Mhm.
There's so much here that you just kind of have to happen upon or
Oh,
hear what
yeah.
people are talking about. Um, and then you want to go see it. And so leave a little bit of time for wandering, for window shopping.
Uh,
which
for
is
the
amazing.
bar that just opened. Like I gotta say, there's lots of times somebody will come up and they'll go, "Hey, they're doing margaritas at over at Four
That's
Hands." I'm
right.
like, "Gotta go. I'm
I'm
going to
there.
Four Hands."
Yes,
No, you're so right. Like it's a marathon. It's not a
it
sprint.
is.
So I
You're
think you
right.
should approach it thinking, from 8 in the morning till 8 at night. I'm going to
Yes,
be, this is a work trip. It's a write-off.
right.
And I'm going to fuel my battery for the whole year ahead by
Hmm.
this, 3, 4, 5 days I'm going to devote to market. The app is called My Market. Is that right?
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
And
Yes,
you could get that ahead of time. You could start
you
plotting out
can.
your trip now rather than waiting till you're sitting on the bus. Like it's a good tip to like get organized before you go.
Absolutely. The other tip that if I were a designer, I would want to do, you can start on our website. It's the same tool. So you can use the desktop. I don't know. Sometimes it's easier for me, especially if
Yeah,
I'm clicking into links and saying, oh, is that somewhere I want to see? Let me look at the product. It's just easier. It's the same login and password. And so once you download the app, you go right in and your plan will be there.
like it.
So
Yeah.
it's seamless. So start a few weeks early, a month early, looking at where you're going, start the mapping, and then pick it up on site when you get here on that app. Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. I didn't prepare myself the first time I went to market, and I found myself like with whiplash when, oh, I should have done that. I could have done that. Why didn't I go there? So,
Right.
and I think it's a really good idea to prepare yourself and don't,
Yes.
and we kind of brushed over this, but who cares about the shoes? Look great from the ankles up. I
Ankles
think
up.
that's
I
really
mean,
good tip. I'm just
yeah.
going all in this year because I was like hobbled by
Yes.
by the end of 4 days the last time I did it, just hobbled.
It's funny that you say that. Our team can spot a first timer. Like, and I hate to say it. I love one of my favorite things, and this comes from I was chief operating officer for 11 years before becoming CEO. And so I've got that operations piece in my blood. But I love standing on opening morning in the transportation terminal just as long as I can and watching people come in and watching that moment of them getting off the bus. And you can tell a first timer because they're like, it's like they're just taking it all in, like, where am I? And I've just, someone said it to me once, it's like Disneyland for designers. I'm like,
It
it is.
is. It
But you have
is.
that moment of overwhelm and like, I'm not sure, but when you see the look in their eye, if you look down, most times they're in shoes that you think, oh, you won't be wearing those tomorrow.
That's gonna hurt. Yeah.
That's gonna hurt. Yeah.
That's okay. You can hang out with us all day Saturday for sure. And
Yes.
I'll talk more about that. So that
Yes.
education component is really important. And then the last thing you mentioned was networking.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's something that happens when you get into the bubble of High Point where people start being real with each other,
I
you
love
know?
this.
Right? You have this moment on the bus and
Yeah.
where normally you'd be at a designer event and somebody would ask you a question, you go, I'm great. But suddenly you find yourself in this, little bubble and you're like, you know what? I'm actually kind of struggling with this. And invariably you've got this person who goes, I know exactly what you need to do and who you need to talk to, and you
Oh
make
my
friends
gosh,
for
that's
life.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have bus friends for life from High Point.
It is so funny that you say that because I was talking to Nancy Fire last market, and she was talking about her market family. It's her friends that have become her family. And so she
Yeah.
calls them her family. And I think that exists. I talk to people all the time who say, I met my business partner at market.
Mm.
I was a solopreneur and suddenly just connected. And so it's amazing the connections that you make that can impact your business and can, just maybe make you feel a little bit better about what's going on in your design life in general.
Yes. Okay, good. So the dates for High Point this year.
Yes. October 26th through 30th.
Okay.
26th is a Saturday. We open on a Saturday. You will find some events happening on Friday. I would encourage you to look at that event calendar before you decide when you're coming, and make your hotel reservation and your airfare early, because that is also helpful to make sure. I mentioned 94 hotels. We use a lot of private homes. Many people do Airbnb or work with our private home housing folks to stay somewhere local or in one of those hotels. We also have a great concierge service that is an easy one-stop shop, and there's not a fee for using that. And so I would encourage folks to go on our website and make a call to Travel Quest. They're local folks who can, and they can do everything for you. They can register you, they can make your hotel, your airfare, your dinner reservations, all those great things.
Is that Lee at Travel
It
Quest?
is Lee. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's who we use, Lee, forever. He's the
Yes.
best. So ask
He
for
is the
Lee.
best.
He's awesome. He'll help you out with all those things. And I do want to say, because a lot of listeners are not, pardon me, US based. If you
Yes.
come from any other country, there's an entire kind of building, or at least a
Yes.
couple of floors devoted to international buyers. And you can go there
Yes.
and get breakfast. You can get a snack. You can
Yes.
get a hot coffee in the middle of the day, and it's
Yes.
attached to the theater. So it's a great location. Take advantage of that spot as well.
I'm glad you brought that up, Kimberly, especially for your listeners outside the U.S. It is on the ground floor of the High Point Theater, and it's a business center as well as just sort of a respite center, a place, you travel internationally. I feel like it's a heavy lift and you're tired before you get there. And so we want an area for our international guests where they can not only connect, but also just sort of take a little break, not be sold for a few minutes, and maybe get some help on that market plan if they need it. We also have access to interpreters and those kinds of things if they need those as well.
Well, I hope we've convinced you to head to High Point. I
Yes.
am very excited this year to head to High Point. Cannot wait. Tammy, we love to end every episode with something we call design intervention, which is just a great piece of business advice or a motto that's helped you through life. Something you want to share with the viewers, listeners. Well, viewers, if you're watching on YouTube.
Viewers, if you're watching, right, listeners. I've thought about this, Kimberly, and as simplistic as it may be, I have to say it's probably the thing that I reflect on the most, which is my mother, very early in life, gave me a piece of advice to always trust my gut.
Mm.
And I find when I make those business decisions and I maybe more heavily base those on other factors rather than sort of what's in here, I usually regret it. And so I have, I would say that's the thing I would encourage listeners to do, is to trust your gut. And, when you hear about things like coming to High Point and maybe making your business better, like if that feels like something that speaks to you, like sometimes follow that.
Once again, mom's advice was right on. I should have listened sooner.
I
Dang.
know. I spent so many years fighting against it.
Right? Oh, surrender, surrender.
Right,
Tammy,
surrender.
amazing. Looking forward to seeing you in October. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thanks for having me on.